No, it's not a video, but a Ford. What's up top? Sounds like a bird's in the air. I bought a junk 97 work T-Ruck Cheby. It's rusted, but it was cheap. The guy was just fed up with deadbeats that don't show up. I'll be there in an hour with the money. Well, some show up and some don't. Tranny line leaking like crazy. So I try to put a clamp around it, try to put JB weld around it. Nope. There's the clamp, there's the JB weld. What happened is it broke off right there. So you can't fix that. I tried. Cleaned it off, sprayed brake clean. Oil just keeps seeping out and seeping out. So I took it out of the transmission, the 4L80E, and I went to the auto parts store and I got a fuel line that's a fraction bigger than this. And all that stopper thing does here is stop the little paperclip C-clip, which failed on a Suburban 10 years ago. I still have it. So that just stops it from sliding out. And what seals it is a little O-ring in there, rubber O-ring. So I bought a fuel line that looks identical. Not. So what do you do to stick back inside there, or what fitting do you buy so I can put a transmission line on this stupid thing and drive it off the trailer? Because I got it on my tow truck, not the trailer, I got it on my tow truck, Posy. And I wanted to drive it off. It runs like a top, but I can't start it up because it just pours out transmission fluid. Next problem. Some problems are easy to fix and some are hard. This was easy. I bought a piece of electrical conduit and I put some JB weld on, some water weld, some JB weld, and it worked it in real good. I had to cut it, trim it a bit, I had to cut the hole. Somebody leaned on this thing, I don't know why, but it was oval, and the nipple broke out of the radiator, and it was oval, and the clamp broke. Junk. So I put that piece of conduit in, took a hole saw, made the hole a little bit rounder because it wasn't quite round, and I worked in JB weld really well, and it dried, and I'm not going anywhere with this thing. It might even hold up if I went for a road trip. But now I can just do this. Put the radiator hose on and not have it pouring out antifreeze all over the tow truck and mixing with the transmission fluid. So that's my question. I'm going to put it on a Facebook group for 2,500 Suburbans and Yuckin XLs. I got this little fitting here, and I need a little piece of pipe that slides in here. And Dorman makes one. Got one right here. Dorman makes one for fuel lines, but it's a fraction bigger, and it's $22, and it's made in Canada. Look at that. North Korea, Canada. Can't get across the border. Even if someone dies in your family, even if everybody dies in your family, good luck. They quarantine you in the basement. So this fuel line is a fraction bigger, and I oiled it, and the O-ring is obviously flat. Just ask Richard at Precision Transmission. I tried working it, and it ain't going in. It was 22 bucks. So it's a lot of effort. So I'm going to pull the tow truck all the way up there, and I'm going to roll this thing off, and hopefully it doesn't go into my garage door. And I don't think anybody would do that, would they? Posy. This thing's got a locked up Posy, according to the owner. That back door flips open, according to the guy who went to get this thing. And it's got a bench seat, which would be in fine shape if it wasn't for the cigarette burn. And it has 230,000 miles, and it runs great. Just pours out the tranny oil, and I don't know what's coming off more than tranny oil. Rust. This thing is rusty, but it was cheap, and it runs great. Plastic skid shield, metal skid shield, plastic insulator. Rusty, 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 rusty. It's so rusty. Live free or die, New Hampshire. Barn doors, everything's falling apart. Good for parts. So what do I do? Where do I buy this? Napa, Motormite, what do they call those little parts? Dorman. Here's another one that I got off a parts tranny. Maybe something else goes into there and uses a double flare. I need some parts. But I'm going to roll this thing off because I want to put the Tornado on the back of this and put it back in the warehouse. Put it to sleep. Get it out of the sun. Beautiful day. Pity those in the west. They are baking, just like an easy bake oven. Cooking.